So we all love the PlayStation 2, right? No? You were more of an Xbox person? Fair enough. I was more of a GameCube guy, and I got the PS2 later. Where was I going with this again? Right, games on the PS2. There was a ton of great games on the beloved console that a lot of us remember fondly, but like the PS1, Sony couldn't establish a mascot to brand their console. The PS1 has Crash and Spyro, but as successful as these two were, neither of them became the official Sony mascot. But with the PS2, they tried again with a new wave of characters, like Ratchet & Clank, Jak and Daxter, and the one we're talking about today, Sly Cooper. None of these three became the official mascots either. Not the best segue to the main topic, but here we are.
Sly! Come in! Sly! Do you read me?
Yeah, I read you. Loud and very loud.
Enter developer Sucker Punch, who wanted to make an action platformer, but with a twist. The player character is a thief, and he needs to steal valuables whilst traversing the levels. Taking inspirations from film noir and Batman the Animated Series, Sly Cooper and the Thevious Raccoonus was made in 9 months, and when it released in late September of 2003, critics loved its cartoony art style, fun gameplay, and the cute and lovable characters, and the accessibility for adults and children, with only a few complaints of it being a bit too easy or short. Sly Cooper is now one of the most beloved series to come off the PlayStation 2 and spawned a bunch of sequels. And while my first adventure with the Sly gang was on the 3rd installment, Sly 1 is definitely the one I played the most. And for some reason, lately I've had just this itch to replay it. So I am via the Sly collection on the PS3. How does the first sneaky adventure hold up nearly 15 years later? Get your binoculars and let's take a look at Sly Cooper and the Thevious Raccoonus.
Yeah, relax, Bentley. I live for this stuff.
Yeah, and that's what worries me.
Before you even see the option to press start, we see our ring-tailed anti-hero maneuvering his way through the rooftops of Paris, where we can quickly see the intricate details and the atmospheric world around us. More on that in a bit. We start the tutorial where we learn the basic movement controls, and we play as Sly Cooper, a thief who's trying to steal a police file from one Inspector Carmelita Fox. When Sly gets the file, he makes his getaway in his team's van. Nothing sneakier than having your face plastered on your transport. We then get Sly's backstory of him being the latest generation in a long lineage of master thieves, the Cooper clan. Famous throughout history for pulling off the biggest heists while wielding a signature cane. And over the generations, the Coopers documented their exploits and their thieving tactics in their own special tune, the Thevious Raccoonus. But the night Sly's father was going to pass the book down to him, they were attacked by a group of villains known as the Fiendish Five. Sly's family was killed in the struggle, and each member of the Five tore out pages of the Raccoonus and disappeared to the wind. Sly was then dumped at an orphanage, where he met Bentley, a brainiac neurotic turtle, and Murray, a snack-loving gentle giant. They quickly become friends and they start thieving together. And now that they're grown up, they're ready to track down the Fiendish Five, take them out, and reclaim the stolen pages of the Thevious Raccoonus, so Sly can finally claim his birthright and become a master thief. A simple story about revenge and reclaiming honor. I can get behind that.
And this is it? You're a monkey wrench in my operation? Some scrawny rat with a stick!
Hello. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
We're quickly brought up to speed on our characters, we know what's at stake, and we can expect a globetrotting adventure to accompany it all. We've got everything we need to get the ball rolling. A motivated protagonist with a group of friends that are willing to do anything to help him avenge his family. Probably by killing those who wronged him. Murder. Better with friends. What a great band of companions. Why can't I get my friends to help me spill the blood of my enemies? I know you're watching this, guys. Why can't you put in that kind of commitment? What was I talking about? Right. The story of Sly is as simple and sweet as a sugar cookie, with plenty of punch to get you interested and motivated to join the new Cooper gang on their quest for redemption. And loot. As redundant as this is going to sound, the cartoony visuals of Sly Cooper make it feel like a Cartoon Network show we never got. From the hand-drawn cutscenes sandwiching the 5 different worlds, even equipped with cool title cards, the shell-shaded polygons that make up our characters, and the levels that look like they've been painted first and then turned three-dimensional. The cast of Sly Cooper, from the Cooper gang itself to even its villains, are brimming with charm and charisma. For an older PS2 game, the character models still look pretty good and are well animated, and pretty much everyone is also well voiced. I know Bentley is supposed to sound annoying, but I can never help but smile whenever he chimes in with his stereotypical geek voice.
Sly, see that machine wheel? If my knowledge of mechanical engineering serves me right, applying significant rotational torque to achieve maximum velocity will yield a positive result.
You mean something good might happen if I can get the wheel to spin fast enough?
Isn't that what I just said?
And there's Murray, the strong but kind getaway driver of the group, who is often seen goofing around, but has the purest intentions. And then there's, of course, Sly Cooper himself, who, while sounding a little too aloof and flat at times, still keeps you sucked in with his character on how confident and smarmy he is, cracking wise at the bad guys and tease flirting with Carmelita Fox whenever she takes another shock pistol shot at trying to put him behind bars. But as much coin and paper the Cooper gang steals, it's the Fiendish Five that steal the show. Short yet detailed backstories like the bulky mugshot, who was inspired by gangster movies to become a crime lord and is so jacked he hardly uses his legs to move around. Or my favorite, the Panda King, a disgruntled fireworks maker turned terrorist after he's shunned for his poor upbringing. Each member brings their own distinct personality to the different worlds you go to, from the coins in every area having different designs on them, or them chiming over the intercoms to berate the staff the more you mess up their plans.
If you lazy, lowbrow, technically incompetent pack of gutter snipes did your jobs right, we'd have sunk 100 ships by now. But of course, Fiddly Bones is a fine, fine achievement. Carry on, my boys, carry on.
And even the minor bad guys you'll be slapping around on missions bring a lot of personality to how they pass the time when they're standing idle, or to each having their own unique taunt whenever they land a hit on you. You can't have a globe-trotting adventure unless you're moving around a lot, and as Sly and crew progress through the story, they go from a stormy island in the middle of Wales, tough-as-nails deserts and casinos of Arizona, the swampy jungles of Haiti, and many more places. Forget thieving, they can make a fortune off this tour. There's 5 worlds, each with their own unique, engrossing atmosphere, and despite the fact that they're hideouts of dangerous criminals, they look and feel very welcoming. Even the grimy jungles look bright and colorful in its own murky way. Traversing the different areas is always a lot of fun because of how you can interact with the environment, breaking whatever's in your path and knocking whatever you can over to make new paths. Bottom line, even for something a decade and a half old, it still looks pretty good. Which is great, because why would you want to steal ugly looking things?
And then headed back home, excited for our next heist.
In order to become a master thief, you need to have a wide array of sneaky skills, and Sly comes from a line of raccoons with exactly that, and he's going to need it in order to traverse the layers of the Fiendish Five. Each world is a big hub area, and you need to run around them in order to find the levels, and the goal of pretty much every one is getting to the end and finding the treasure key in order to progress to the boss. When you get enough keys, you can open up more of the hub area and get access to more levels, which means more keys and more loot to find. Most of these levels see you playing as Sly, as he platforms through creative death traps and bops bad guys with his signature cane. He can sneak across ledges, hook onto loops to swing from them, grind on rails, and jump on tiny pointed platforms like a ninja. It's some very satisfying platforming when you can string these moves together, making you feel like an acrobat who also happens to nab gold coins. Speaking of which, you'll find coins everywhere, and when you collect 100, you get a lucky charm, which will let Sly take an extra hit without dying or defy gravity to not fall down a chasm at the cost of it. And if you get another lucky charm while you already have one, it becomes stacked to a golden charm, allowing another extra hit, and then an extra life for the next 100. The levels are pretty linear, but in a focused kind of way. You can always get an idea of where you should be headed, and again, it's a lot of fun to swing from point to point with your cane. But keep your eyes peeled, and especially your ears listening, and look out for the clue bottles. These bouncy bottles are hiding in almost every nook and cranny in whatever stage they're in. Ranging from 20 to 40, it's highly recommended you take the time to track down every one of them. Because if you do, you can get the code to unlock a safe in the level, and inside, pages of the Thevious Raccoonus. Each vault you open will give you an upgrade of some descript, whether it be binocucom upgrades to help you find bottles easier, or new abilities like altering the speed of time faster or slower, creating decoys to draw enemy aggro, exploding hats, invisibility, and an electrified raccoon rolling ball of death. and also some passive abilities like not using up a lucky charm when you fall into pits or water. You don't need any of these upgrades to get through the game. Everything you need to beat it is given to you as you progress through the story and beat the Fiendish 5. But the other powers and moves are so much fun and useful enough to make it worth opening all the vaults, at least in my opinion. As noted before, the most common levels you'll see are a Sly trying to get through and nab the treasure keys. To do this, you not only need to jump and climb around improvised routes, but you also need to be a little sneaky. It's preferable to avoid the many security systems and searchlights that cover Sly's path. Getting spotted will aggro all the nearby enemies and turn the lights and bars into rays. If you're caught, it's not really a big deal as Sly can smack around all the henchmen in a hit. But Sly goes down in one hit too unless you got a lucky charm. So your best bet is to take your time and look before leaping. But some levels you might have to take a little fast, like when Carmelita Fox shows up and starts blasting at you, making for some great chase moments. But not all the levels are about sneaking and platforming. There's a handful of levels that see you operating a vehicle or just doing something weird to get the treasure key. Providing cover fire for Murray while he gets the key himself, operating a submarine to blast crabs, or some kind of hovering blaster bike to blow everything in your path away, even a twin-stick shooter hacking section with Bentley. They're not as fun as the platforming levels, but that's not to say they're bad. They're a nice little distraction to shake things up just enough. A dash of spice to make an already tasty dish just that tiny bit more varied. However, I never did like the Murray driving sections. One of the biggest points of praise and criticism for Sly 1 was that it was an all-around too easy game. It very much is a simple one, and there really won't be a level or section that will get you stuck or frustrated, and at worst if you run out of lives you just need to start the level over again. But they're short and focused enough that you can make up the ground quickly and nothing is actually lost. The bosses don't take much to take down besides a little patience and good timing, and can go down in a few good hits. And even the Master Thief sprints you can unlock are pretty manageable as far as time trials go. But just because it's easy doesn't mean it isn't fun though. Because it is, it's a lot of fun. The slower stealth-focused pace makes it feel pretty relaxing actually. This is a game I've played through to start to finish loads of times, and I've never gotten bored. Each time I come back to it, it's a charming and easy game to grasp that I can just relax and play whenever I want. There's no worry about any big difficulty spikes or frustrating moments. Just sit back, grab some coin, and feel the satisfaction of being a master thief.
My gang and I took a little time off and did some shopping in Hong Kong. Thoroughly relaxed, we headed home to plan our next move.
The Cooper gang have journeyed all over the world and have taken down 4 members of the Fiendish 5 and have recovered a majority of the Thevious Raccoonus while giving the police the slip. And while they're on their way to find the leader of the group, Sly notices that in several pictures of his ancestors, there's an owl-shaped figure in the background looming overhead. What does this mean? And how they take a photograph in ancient Egypt? They get to a hideout in Russia where the leader of the Fiendish 5, Clockwork, resides, and the Cooper gang make their full frontal assault on the base. When Sly gets in, he frees a captured Carmelita, and they make a temporary truce to take Clockwork down, and then continue their usual runaround.
This truce is only temporary. Once we beat Clockwork, I'm coming after you.
Oh, really?
Well, maybe I'll give you a 10-second head start.
Sly borrows Carmelita's jetpack, and Clockwork reveals himself, and it turns out he's had a long-standing hatred of the Cooper clan for centuries, and with that hatred driving him, he found a way to become immortal, and wants to put an end to the Cooper clan once and for all. Now, obviously, Sly would have some problems with this plan of his, so the final fight kicks off. It's another simple boss fight of blasting weak points when they become open and dodging highly telegraphed attacks. But when Clockwork gets busted up and plummets into the lava, Sly gets up close and personal to finish him off. With the Fiendish 5 defeated, Sly looks back on the journey, finally avenging his family, reclaiming the family book, and becoming a true thief himself without needing it. Well, with the help of Bentley and Murray instead. But Carmelita points out that since the terms of their truce have been fulfilled, it's back to playing cops and robbers, but keeps her promise on giving him a 10-second head start. Sly has other plans though.
3, 2, 1.
Oh man, Sly, you're in trouble now. Theft is one thing, but now she's gonna add full-on sexual harassment to your record. I guess Sly's another beloved celebrity with a sexual harassment charge now. Growing up sucks. The Cooper gang make their getaway and the credits start to roll. But after they're done, we see that hatred truly can never die. And after you defeat Clockwork and have opened all the other vaults in the game, there's one more that can't be opened until you finish the game. With Clockwork's owl dialect known, this last safe can now be cracked, giving Sly the ability to freeze all the guards in the area. With the Thevious Raccoonus fully restored, Sly feels the rush of pride having earned the book and becoming a master thief without inheriting it. And with his birthright in paw, he sets off to chronicle his own adventures and further the Cooper lineage.
I felt bad leaving her stranded on that giant rock, but I knew it wouldn't be long before we'd see each other again.
So that was Sly Cooper and the Thevious Raccoonus. How does it hold up? Pretty darn well, I think. Charming characters, great animations and level-looking design, lots of fun platforming with a good mix of basic stealth elements to make it unique to its platforming relatives, and just an all-around satisfying experience. If you're looking for a challenge to prove that you're a
hardcore gamer,
you're not really going to get that here. It's very easy to do almost everything, and just beating the game and opening all the vaults will net you pretty much every trophy, and even doing all that might take you 7 hours or so. Sly isn't so much of a challenge, but it is a great journey of turning a lonely orphan into an anti-hero with a crack team of friends to fight for what's right in their own wrong way. Sly Cooper is worth taking a look at if you like platformers and haven't played it yourself, or if you got a young relative that likes video games and cute animals. Give it a try, and while you're stealing vaults worth of coin, you can also get your hands on something more valuable: fun.
This is gonna be fun.
No, there ain't no rest for the wicked until we close our eyes for good.
I feel transgressed and violated.